Okay, good evening, guys. This is a quick and short video just to explain a couple of things that I have added over the weekend. So typically, this is part of the positional radar. So what I wanted basically to know as a trader every day, if I have an opportunity to find out any such stock where the open interest is bit considerable, but the price close to close hasn't moved much. What I'm trying to say, if let's say sometime it so happened that if institutional players want to accumulate something, but they want to make sure that participation from the mass audience is lower. So such days are typically where the candles close to close price comparison would be hardly say less than 1% or maybe lesser, but the OI would be considerably higher. So those are the days where the usually the beginning of a trend or the end of the trend is marked. Okay, and that's if you would notice, if you can go and check your ICCI bank charts or Axis Bank chart, I think around 2nd or 3rd June there is a candle which you would see is a very small body candle, hardly a close within 0.3 to 0.5%. And right after that candle, it had a good OI spike around that particular time, 2nd or 3rd June, you can go and check. After we had a nearly rally in ICCI Bank and even Axis Bank more than 7-8%. I think in ICCI the per move was almost 10%. So that led me to think that what if some way, not completely, not completely 100%. What if we get to have such stocks having such planted moves being developed, and how can we then use it to our own positional trading? So that led me to thinking, and then I came up with this particular thing. I wanted to find any stock where the close price moment is very lesser, but the OI build is considerable. So I want to keep a check on that stock for the next day and even for the few days, and then use my own trading strategies to think of taking a stock positionally. So I'll just quickly explain how it works. So when you come to position radar, you will see two drop down tabs. I will explain both. We'll start with stealth buildup. So the stealth buildup by definition is where there's a future OI spike, but the price candle close candle price movement is very lesser. Those are the hidden candles kind of a thing. So now, if you notice, currently we have three stocks. So now they are categorized. Not every stock would be necessarily, having a low price run. Some stock would be having a high price, like let's say 1.1%, 1.5%. So I have tried to limit it to a price movement close to close around 1.5%, not more than that. Maybe eventually I'll reduce to 1%, but right now I want to keep even those stocks where the movement is close to close less than 1.5%. But on such stocks, there is a huge open interest that is being seen. So, for example, now if you see LNT, LNT is currently showing, future open interest has changed to almost 3.5%, but the close to close price movement is hardly 0.25%, kind of a very small candle. Okay, but a point to also note I wanted to make sure is that I'm aware that what is the call and put writing position as in a net delta, put writing minus call writing. So had this net delta being positive, then I would be absolutely sure that there is some kind of a long buildup that has happened. Okay, but now because this is a low price movement, and net delta is minus, so I am now tilted, not necessarily bearish, but tilted towards the uh, particular stock commencing or maybe starting a bear run. That is not necessary. It all depends on whether the high of the particular candle, which is of today, is crossed. So I'll keep a watch on these two particular stock because they have a very lower price movement. They are highlighted in yellow. Okay, there are other stocks also, but over there the OI would be lesser. So why they are ranking, showing ranking of strong? Because the OI bar of today, which is yellow, is compared to previous days, a kind of it has spiked. and the price movement is very limited, which means what? There's some big position that is being taken. We want to keep an eye on these two stocks for tomorrow and see where the opportunity is creating. Prima facie assumption is because it's a net delta minus, so the price, OI, if you see the call OI is 70 lakhs and the put OI is 33 lakhs. So the natural tilt is towards bearishness, but should not be fixed assumption because it is net delta. So I want to see tomorrow if it starts with some kind of a put writing in a day, and then I'll be sure that this might be a long build-up. But if it does a call writing in the start of a day, so then I'll know how to deal with this particular stock. So this is why I built this, because I wanted to capture these particular smaller moved but higher OI stocks where there could be a start of a trend, maybe not necessarily for 15, 20 days, maybe even for 5 days for any option buyer or anyone is, I think, more than sufficient, because we don't know what this will unfold into, a 3% move, 5% move, or 10% move. So I don't want to miss out on such initial points, early point, where the stock starts a movement. So this is the reason why this was born. This is going to get improved over the time, but currently what I have tested over the time and I have seen it working. So keep an eye on this particular window and see if it is helping you in any way. This is the one what I want to discuss. I will focus always on the strong. Actually, the strength is divided into three parts. Currently, because we don't have third option, so third option typically would have a different badge altogether. That will be the kind of a, like I said, delta is negative. So if delta comes positive, for example, and there's a candle is even lesser, so it will kind of give you different badge of a silver or something. I don't remember the name exactly I have given. I will check it though. So now what you have to focus on the stock where the signal ranking is kind of a strong. Those are the stocks for me to keep an eye on tomorrow and see how they progress. Watch would be okay. I would keep them on a watch list and see if they come in either the port writing, intraday screener, or anywhere for the additional confirmation. Okay, so this is a tab for you to check. And the second tab which I wanted to see is the positional volume breakup, because for any positional stock buying or selling, apart from everything else, what I want to ensure that there is a volume supported. And for me, for the very, very short term positional bets, the volume of 5 a day breakout is very important, which is what we see in our Pulse page. If you see, there's a section I have built over there which shows a volume breakout of 5 days. So that is for the very, very short period. What if I want to see, let's say, for 15, 20 days kind of a stock movement? So I have created this particular place where you can find a stock where there's a volume breakout of 10 and 20 days. It will come into this particular tab. Okay, but it will also then give you what is the stage of this particular stock in the positional radar. So now, if you see this particular stock sale, now sale, if you remember in my morning video, it had a highest open interest. So right now that is confirmed because we have a good open interest and good volume also now. Under positional radar, it is having a building stage, but now it has a more additional confirmation of volume also being higher. Consistency currently is 54%, which means it will maybe develop in a day or so, but the clarity of this being short or long is now clear with the volume. Okay, it will then show you also in the bottom that a 10-day volume is 2.5x of the normal volume and 20-day volume is 3.5x, which is a kind of a thing that you should not ignore. Hence, you see the sign is given as a elite. Elite would be the top, which has both volume breakout 10-day and 20-day. So it will also have, let's say, good OI change also. So this is something that you can keep it on radar for the positional kind of a play. Hindalco, maybe because it had a very good fall today, has come up over here. It is still into 10 days movement. See, it has a 10-day price volume breakout. For 20-day, it is hardly 0.5%, which is ignorable. So under 10-day, it is appearing. So it is again part of your positional radar as something to watch out for. Now, important thing that we have today is a DLF. Why? Because DLF has 1.7x of volume of 10 days and the OI overall in the series. Now, DLF, if you remember, it has appeared yesterday also in our OI gainers, which we have on the Pulse page. So that, and then today, whatever action it happened in the morning, I think we saw a 620 put writing happening. This is what I think even would be captured in our morning video also. But this is also now part of a positional radar ignition list. So ignition list is kind of a list where we kind of a rate stocks higher than other stocks. So which means what, the DLF is comparatively better placed when it comes to position volume alert. So if I have to take a decision of building a case study of DLF being long from here, so I have a lot of good parameters in place. So now I will keep an eye on this maybe for tomorrow and see how this develops. Currently, because HCL Tech has a volume which is 1.9x of the 10 days, but currently it doesn't have anything in the positional radar. Maybe it is because it has not had a continue building of OI or price movement. So currently it is not part of anything. But yes, this is kind of a starting point right now for the SCL Tech. We might see action in these stocks. All these stocks, you should keep a list on it tomorrow. And basis what you're seeing right now, alert, you can accordingly take your trading decisions. This video is not made to give you any kind of a tips and all. It is just made to inform you how these tabs was formed and what is the use that you can make out of this. Thank you very much.